All right, good evening, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a new startup company based in Austin, Texas. We are focused on helping student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then either into a career in their professional sport or into a career based on their major after graduation. Before we get into tonight's prospect, I want to thank our sponsors. Go Edit Graphics is a company based in Nebraska that does a great job of enabling athletic departments at the high school, college, and pro level create dazzling graphics to promote student athletes, schedules, and other outbound communication in a visual format through social media. Buffalo Wild Wings, I think we all love wings, and so a good friend of mine, Brian Soltis, a GM there, is sponsoring Texas high school sports from all over. And so we want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for helping support Texas athletics. And then lastly, Epic, which is a new sports apparel company based in Houston, Texas. Epic stands for Every Play I Compete. The CEO is a good friend of mine, Stefan Johnson. Go to their Twitter page at I am Epic247 and check out all the great uniforms, 7-on-7 jerseys, gloves, hats, masks. They have a whole bunch of really nice gear that I think will really be impressive to those that are out there. So with all that, I want to thank all my sponsors. But the main thing I want to get to is the reason why we're here. This young man's video, when I watched it, truly popped off the screen. Can't even be more impressed with him. He's right here from Central Texas. Kanui Guidry is a class of 22 running back from San Marcos High School, just south of Austin. He's 5'11", 185 pounds. He has a 3.3 GPA, which I love. He's been a two-time USA Football Combine invitee and a two-time FBU Adidas National Combine invitee. Kanui, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm looking forward to hearing you tell your story. I've been a big fan watching your video and watching you play this past season. I'm looking forward to having coaches learn more about you as a person and as a student athlete. So let's jump right in. The first thing coaches want to know about is your academics. You've got a strong GPA of 3.3. Tell these coaches about the importance you put on your academics.
The classes I take right now are actually college level classes. I take a lot of pride in my academics. That always comes first before sports. You always need academics to go to the next level, so I always make sure that that's my priority.
Okay. What are some of the classes that drive that GPA? What are some of your favorite classes that you like taking?
My favorite class right now is I'm in AP Physics.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
level physics, and I'm also in. Last year I took college level anatomy. Um, so I was trying to get my CTE certification early before I graduate, so I could go into the medical field.
So you're taking AP classes. So how many college credits will you have by the time you graduate from San Marcos? Do you know?
I should have about 6.
Okay, that's
6 or 7.
awesome. Okay. There's not a student athlete that I know, me being a former one also, that didn't get some academic help along the way. Take this time to shout out a teacher, a coach, a AP, a counselor who has helped you academically and helped you maintain that 3.3 GPA.
I would like to shout out my AP Physics teacher. He helped me a lot. They use they use a year ahead of math, so I didn't really know what was happening, so I had to learn on the way. I like to shout him out. He helped me a lot during the way.
What's his name, Kanui?
His name is David Joyner.
Okay. Anybody else?
Um, that's pretty much it.
Okay. And hearing you, physics being a favorite course and your other courses, I mean, what do you have an idea that you might want to major in when you get to college?
I would like to major in health science. I would like to be a chiropractor whenever I grow up.
Nice. I like it.
Now I'm on
Maybe when you get
track
your own
to.
practice one day, you can help me with my neck and back issues. So I'll be staying in contact with you. The other thing that coaches want to understand is, what kind of learning style do you have? Would you consider yourself more of a verbal, visual, or hands-on learning style?
I wouldn't put myself in one single category. I can, if you need to talk to me or you need to show me something, I always just take it in. I can't really put myself in one particular category.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, and we're all different parts of that, but usually we have a favorite one. What about on the football field? Are you somebody that, if the coach draws up on the board, you get it automatically? Do you need to see film, or do you need the coach to take you out to the field and walk you through some of the techniques to be a better running back? What about in that environment?
I'm pretty adaptive on the field. If you tell me one time, I think I got like a good sense of what's gonna happen and when to do it. Um, yeah.
Okay. Another big part of being a student athlete at the college level, which is the goal, is reaching out for assistance when you struggle, because college courses are pretty hard. Are you someone that is used to, if you struggle in a certain class, you don't mind asking for help by a tutor or spending extra hours with a teacher? Tell us a little bit about what you do when you have a difficult class.
Currently, I actually have a tutor to help me with my AP Physics class and my harder level classes because the teachers aren't always going to be there. They have other people to help. They have time of their own. So I always like to go back after I go to that class or after I finish a test or something and make sure I did everything right. Um, so yeah.
Okay. Eventually we'll get through this pandemic recruiting right now, and college coaches will be able to get back on high school campuses and visit athletes and watch them in class. For coaches who haven't seen you in class yet, describe what kind of body language and how you interact with classmates and your teacher in a classroom.
Um, I like interacting. I like making people laugh. I'm not really a class clown, but I like seeing everybody smile, make sure that they know what's going on. If somebody needs some help, that everybody knows they can come talk to me because I usually get what's happening. So
Mhm.
I usually get the gist and I can break it down to them.
Okay. I love hearing that. Let's switch over to learning more about you personally. Tell us about your family. What do your mom and dad do? Are they former athletes? Are you an only child? You the oldest, you youngest? Tell us a little bit about the rest of the Guidry family.
My dad actually used to play basketball and baseball. He was pretty good at both those sports. My mom, she used to run track. I currently don't live with my mom. I just live with my dad.
Mhm.
Um, I've been living with my dad since I was about one or two. Um, my dad's pretty athletic. He's probably more athletic than I am, honestly. But yeah.
Okay. Are you an only child? Are you the only child? You got older brothers and sisters or no?
I'm an only child. Yeah, I'm an only
Okay.
child. So my dad really guided the way for me.
Okay.
Hard work, keep
I
on.
see you're 5'11", 185 right now. Every coach always like to gauge what a kid will look like once they graduate and what they'll look like, after a year or two in a college strength and conditioning program. How tall and what's your dad's weight, and what do you think your height and weight will be by the time you graduate next year?
My dad is 6'3". My mom was about 6'2", so they're
Okay.
both pretty tall. My dad weighs about 170, about 178, probably a little bit more than I do. I feel like whenever I graduate, I'm going to be about 6', 190. That's what I'm trying to strive for.
Okay.
Um,
What
yeah.
about your shoe size? You still got another growth spurt coming through? Which size shoe do you wear?
Um, I wear a size 11 right now,
Okay.
11 and a half.
Okay. All
Pretty.
right. Obviously, you're very talented. We'll get more into that later on. But when you're not working out and you're not playing football during the fall, what do you like to do in your spare time? What hobbies and interests do you have when you're not working out or playing the game of football?
I video games and collecting shoes. Those are my two main hobbies. I like playing video games and I really like shoes. So when I'm either doing one or the other.
Okay. What are some of your favorite games? Are you a Madden guy? Are you 2K guy? Which one?
I'm not really a Madden guy or a 2K guy. I like Call of Duty, shooting
Okay.
first
All right.
person games.
You playing single or with teams? You get online and play with other guys or no?
Yeah, I be getting online, I be playing with the boys,
All
just
right. Nothing
very
wrong with
active.
that. Hey, tell us, if a coach hasn't visited your Twitter page yet, tell these coaches what kind of image, what kind of brand are you putting out there about yourself for those that haven't visited your Twitter page yet?
I'm gonna visit my Twitter page. It's a lot about sports. I like keeping up with sports. There's a lot of me, my highlights, pictures of me playing sports, me retweeting other people's playing sports, their pictures, their highlights, stuff like that. I like following other coaches to see what the update on college football is. I like looking at highlights, ESPN highlights, House of
Mhm.
Highlights, like that. Um, yeah.
Okay. So I would assume your timeline, I've seen it, but for these coaches that haven't yet, Pretty clean, nothing controversial, keeping it pretty professional, all about you, football, academics, your family, things like that?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, good. I love to hear that. A couple lighter questions here. What's your all-time favorite football movie?
Remember the Titans? That was
Okay.
a good movie.
Yeah.
I remember watching that whenever I just started playing football, and it set the foundation for me, knowing that I had to grind through adversity and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's a classic. Every time it's on TV, if I flip through the channels and it comes on, I got to watch it, even though I've seen it probably 100 times. So I understand that. What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat out when you get a chance to eat out?
I'm from Louisiana, so I like eating crawfish. If it's crawfish season, crawfish is always on the list.
Okay. All right. What about music? What kind of music you listen to? And do you have a favorite artist?
I listen to all types of music. I listen from UK rap to regular rap to reggae stuff like that. But my favorite artist is probably Lil Baby right now. I like his music. I'm waiting for him to come out with some more music.
Okay.
I don't listen to him too much.
I like it. Another important question coaches want to know about is, and I think I know the answer, but let's get on the record. Who else is going to help you make your decision on what school you'll commit to over here in the next 18 months?
The only person that's gonna be helping me is my dad.
Okay, I like it. Okay. Every student athlete loves playing Friday nights in front of a large crowd, surrounded by fans from the community and things like that. But what are you doing to give back to your community? You live there in San Marcos. Are you involved in your church? Are you involved in some nonprofits? What are you doing to give back to your community?
Recently, I've been out of commission, but before that, I used to give food back to the homeless.
Okay,
I think that was a big part because watching them they go through their own struggles, and knowing that I can help them it always feels better whenever you give back.
absolutely, and I love that. Tell us a little bit about this is one of my favorite questions. I know we all want to play pro football, and my son played, and it's been great. But when football's over, whenever that is, whether it's after college or after a long career in the NFL, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want to look like? What do you want it to look like personally and professionally?
I want to make sure that if I have kids and I have a family, I want to make sure that they're set. That's why I always wanted to pursue the health field because you can't run out of doctors or nurses.
Right, right.
Chiropractors. Everybody always needs to be helped. I always like helping people also, so it just goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
I think that was a good fit for me.
Okay, I like it. It's a great response. How would your teammates describe you as a teammate?
Hardworking, hardworking, and probably a little too aggressive. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, probably a little too aggressive because I be on them. If they ain't working, I make sure that they work. If they can't do it, then I help them, but help as much as they can. I make sure that they do their own work
Okay,
and putting effort in on and off the field.
I like it. Would your coaches at San Marcos describe you as a dependable player as far as being on time, being a leader in the locker room, in the weight room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good stuff. And then obviously you're a good athlete, you have good size. What other sports do you play? You play basketball, baseball? You gonna run track? Tell us a little bit about what you do away from football.
I play football. You already know that. I play baseball. I play center field and I pitch and shortstop.
Okay.
Um, and I also play basketball. I play point guard and shooting guard. I run track. Uh, I actually have the 100-meter dash record from Lehman High School, that my old high school I went to. And I run the 4x1, the 100. I can do 100 hurdles and triple jump.
Well, as you probably already know, there's not a college coach in the country that doesn't love football players that run and compete in track. So I love hearing that. For you coaches that haven't watched his highlight video yet, there's a 99-yard touchdown run that he literally outruns the entire defense. It's something impressive. So make sure you swing by his huddle link and check that out. As we move in here to recruiting, tell us what are some of the schools or some of the conferences that you would love to play in at the college level?
I feel like that my abilities, I can play D1. That's what I'm always striving for. I mean, I know everybody doesn't make it, but that's always my goal. I'm always shoot high for it. My favorite school right now, I would like to go to LSU. I know not everybody makes it, so yeah.
Okay. Tell us about, you being a running back after this season here. You had a good season, put up some good stats. As you go into your senior year next year, what are some of the things, what are some of your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on to improve for next year, your senior year?
I think my strengths are I'm pretty shifty. I know what's happening. I'm very smart. I'm adaptive. So I put you could put me in any scheme and I can always compete. Whether it's blocking, passing, rushing, things I need to improve on. I just want to get faster and shiftier and smarter. I've been sitting in the film room, watching my film, watching past film, and seeing how I can improve myself to help our team be better.
Yeah, one of the things I saw in your film that really impressed me. Most fast guys want to be fast all the time, but you showed me patience. There were a couple plays in your highlight video where you had to kind of wait for your blocking to set up, and then you hit a step, and then you exploded through the hole and ran these long touchdown runs. I mean, that patience is something a lot of running backs don't understand at your age. So kudos to you in understanding that there's a time for speed and there's a time for patience. Tell us a little bit about some of the other things. You've got some great runs on your highlight video, but what about catching the ball in the backfield, picking up blocks against blitzing safeties and linebackers? Tell these coaches how you would consider yourself a five-tool running back.
I could also catch passes out of the backfield. I have videos of that on my film. I could block. I didn't really block that much this season because we ran an RPO, so it was either I had the ball or I didn't. Um, yeah.
Okay. Would you consider you have strong, good hands, consistent hands?
Yeah, I got consistent hands. I didn't drop no balls this season. I think I was 4 for 4, about 90 yards. So it's pretty good.
Another big thing coaches look at for running backs obviously is ball security. And not that we want to get too much into your stats, but how would you describe your ball security this year, your junior year?
My ball security is pretty good. I had no fumbles this year or last year. I actually haven't had a fumble since probably like 7th grade, maybe.
Wow, that's awesome. So you understand the importance of handling the ball. Is there a certain college or pro running back that you pattern your game off of, and who is that?
Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
Saquon. I remember watching him whenever he went to Penn State, and he just always caught my eye every single time he stepped on the field. He always helped his teammates. He helped his team. Uh, I like how he plays.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of similarities in his game and your game for sure. Are you playing for a 7-on-7 club team or your high school team? What's that name and what's that experience been like?
Currently I'm not right now. I tore my ACL last season,
Okay.
uh, and due to COVID, so
Yeah.
it wasn't a good time. To
How's rehab going for you?
It's good. I should be 100% in about a couple months or so.
Okay. Good stuff. Tell me, who was the best player in high school you've ever played against?
Um,
Could be older, could be somebody that's already in college, it could be a young guy, somebody your age. I mean, who is somebody that stood out like, man, that dude's pretty good and I had a good game against him?
I guess the most notable person I played against was Caleb Burton, number
Okay.
one
Yeah.
receiver.
Del Val, yeah.
Uh, we played him last year, and he had about three touchdowns, about 400 yards. He just straight wrecked us.
Okay. Yep. Ohio State commit. I know the family really well and known him for a long time. So yeah, definitely a big time athlete there. Another thing, Kanui, that coaches want to hear about is, in football, you have to learn how to overcome adversity. Tell these coaches right now about a time in your life, either personally or dealing with sports, where you had to overcome some type of adversity.
My freshman year, I tore my ACL the first game of the season. I was projected to be the starting running back for varsity. I had to sit out the whole year. I had a rehab. I came back last year, and I had about 50 carries, 900 yards. I almost hit 1,000 in my first season back playing football. So yeah, there's always a chip on my shoulder whenever I get set back a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's good to know because as you know, playing football, there's going to be injuries, and how you handle them decides how well and how successful you'll be playing this game, for sure. Um, would you consider yourself a leader? How do you describe? How do you define leadership, and how do you plan on leading going into your senior year?
I'm not really one to talk a lot. I lead by example. Everybody knows that whatever I do, it's either for the best of the team or it's going to help the team. I always put my work in off the field and off the field, whether it's by myself, because I know that people will look up to me. They need something, they could come to me. They need help, they could come to me. I feel like I'm a leader on and off the field.
Okay. Coaches love leaders. Coaches also love coaching players who are highly competitive. Look in the camera and tell these coaches about what kind of competitive spirit you have.
I'm pretty competitive. I played 5 games this season, as you saw. Um, I led the division in rushing yards in 5 games, and most teams played about 10. They went probably a little longer. Um, they're pretty competitive.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So through 5 games, and those coaches that haven't seen his huddle video, it's on his stats. But tell us your stats in 5 games, and tell us what you would have put up if you had played the whole season.
The first game, I had 300 yards for 3 touchdowns. I had the 99-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
It was a fight. Yeah, that was a fight. Our second game, I had about 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Um, we won that game. The next game we played Lake Travis and we played Westlake. I put up about 70 yards on both teams. I stood out a lot. I was driving down the field. It was just little mistakes that killed us. We was really in the fight for both those teams. I think it was just little mistakes. We could have pulled those off.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us what it's like. Obviously Westlake, back-to-back state champion, 6A level. Lake Travis, a storied program. Tell us how playing two great high school programs like that helps you get better as a student athlete as you get ready to transition to college. What's that like playing against two of the best programs in the state easily?
It showed me that there's always room for improvement. I was playing against other people that were similar to my attributes, so I had to pull out something different. I had to adapt. I got to find their weaknesses instead of just going out there and competing against them. I had to find their weaknesses, exploit them, and I had to make sure my strengths were on point, and I exploited my strengths also.
Good. That's good to hear. Well, hey, let's finish up here. We talked about the elevator pitch earlier, doing a great job of answering the questions. But right now, look in the camera, Kanui, and tell these coaches why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program as a student athlete.
On the field, I'm a dog. I do everything. Yeah, whatever you need me to do, whatever position you need me to play. You need me to run the ball, catch the ball. You need me to block. I can do all of the above. Whether it's in the weight room, I put up good numbers in the weight room. On the field, running, track, every single sport. I always bring a lot to every sport. Off the field, I'm very hardworking, very dedicated to my grades. I have a 3.3 GPA, and I'm not taking no easy classes. So the classes I take, people probably struggle in college. So I feel like I could bring it on and off the field.
That is a great elevator pitch, Kanui. That's a great job. Well, hey, continue to rehab. Looking forward to seeing you compete this spring in track and then going into next season. If you need anything, let me know and tell your parents I said hello and tell them I said thank you for allowing you to come on the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.